What's up, guys? This is Frenzy. Welcome back to the final part of my castle rebuilding video for patch 18. This video we're going to be going through my entire castle and putting in traps. I did the first two rooms, so I'm just going to go over the ones that I put in already. They're pretty straightforward. You have this trap first here. It blocks this corner so that they can't abuse this corner as things are kiting around like this. And then it also hits this corner as well. They can still fight in this open area here, but I feel like that's probably a little bit more difficult than if they were to try to abuse corners. Although Cyclops is... you can't really abuse corners because as they group up they're going to smash down, and you'll have to back away regardless. So basically there's just this little area here that they can fight, or they have to pull back to this area, or they have to constantly be dodging for traps. And then we have one here, same basic principle. I think it barely hits this corner over here, and then it definitely hits this corner over here. Basically, these two traps, I have a feeling that either people are going to wait for these explodifiers to walk all the way around, in which case I don't really care. They're going to waste a bunch of time doing that. They're going to be able to hide back in here or something. Or they're going to try to fight it at this corner after engaging two groups at once, or they're going to go for all three groups at once and engage it with this trap. So that's kind of what these two traps are meant to do. This trap isn't actually meant for this room specifically, it's meant for this one, so that if they pull this group, they can't come back and kite around this corner. It also puts a little bit of pressure if they fight it in this area, and it's pretty much touching this ballista trap, so they pretty much have pressure throughout this entire corridor here as they're trying to fight these two groups. So that's pretty much how those two ballista traps are functioning. This slow trap over here is in case they walk back and they kite the Jimbo all the way back to here, which probably won't happen, or if they go the wrong way and they turn this way, they'll get slowed possibly. So it just kind of punishes them for going the wrong way. This mouse wheel trap, it would be probably a jelly wall, except for the fact that I'm going to be upgrading these to level 30 eventually, and they'll get the three spinning wheels instead of two. So I'm going to be using mouse wheel traps for this specific spot. And this is with my Jimbo, so that basically they have these two mouse wheel traps here, puts you in this zone to fight Jimbo in, and hopefully Jimbo can get some shots off fighting in a small area like this. Obviously you can still go over this, like, you know, come in, aggro, pull back over, but if you get hit by the mouse wheel trap, there's a high chance that Jimbo will come and you know, smack his sword down on your head. So hopefully that'll work. And then we have these rooms, which I have not gotten to starting to trap yet. So I don't think there's going to be much I can do. Let's see. Yeah, there's not going to be much I can do with them trying to fight just this group by itself, these explodifiers. So I won't be able to really do much about that, because I have that mouse wheel trap over there. But I will be able to. Now you'll notice I'm using mostly ballistic cannons, and that's because really they're the best trap. I mean, spike traps do reasonable amounts of damage. The rotating cannons, although it says they have like pretty high DPS, they don't really hit all that often. Like, if you're just standing where a rotating cannon trap is, it'll hit you maybe one or two ticks, like each turn. Like, well, every 2 turns, I guess, as it's like turning around. Personally, I don't really like them. I prefer the ballistic cannons. I think they do more damage, and they just like add this extra thing that the attackers have to watch out for with these you know, balls of fire coming down on you. So we're gonna do something over in this area here. Basically, I want to hit this wall over in here, just in case they kite this Zeke back around this corner. I want to have something to deter them from that. Something to possibly, you know, have them take some damage. So we want this corner covered. And then down in here, we're just going to throw in probably another one, unless there's some other reason. Basically, this area here, they're not going to be fighting anything in like this box down in here. So, because these guys are going to kite all the way around. So basically the only thing I have to worry about is them fighting this back in this room. So what we want is probably another ballistic cannon somewhere in this general area, just in case they decide to fight the Zeke more on his own turf, kind of, you know, down in this tunnel or somewhere in here. You know, maybe Archer rolls past instead of kiting back and tries to take out the Zeke that way. You know, rolls past to get a shot off on this Defendatron, and then, you know, this guy, this ballistic cannon will be in range there. Alright. Next we have to cover this room. I prefer to cover this. I could put one all the way down here like I have, you know, back up in the start of my castle. I could put one here that covers a little bit of everything. I actually think I would need him down in here somewhere, so that it covers this corner over here and this corner over here. I'm wondering if there's any way that I could fit in another trap in here somewhere. Just like probably a good spot for a rotating cannon would be right here. Because if someone's just moving past and there's no mobs to fight, rotating cannons are the only thing that's going to do any damage at all. You have to be able to stop and actually fight something inside of this circle in order for the ballistic cannon to actually do its damage. It won't hit you if you're just running past. Now, that being said, I don't think I'm going to be able to actually fit this in here. It's just too tight, so we'll just leave it as that. We'll just leave that open space there, I think. I might have to buy more ballistic cannons, to be honest. Alright, so here we want a ballistic cannon to cover. I'd prefer it to be here, but I have a feeling, and hopefully I'll remember to check this when I do my castle, I have a feeling if I'm standing right in this area here, it'll hit the wall. So I want to see if that angle works for this cannon, because I believe if it's over 1 hex, it'll be working over here, but I think this ring isn't actually its range, it's just the trap thing, but it's very close. It's just like slightly inside is the ballistic cannon's range. So I don't know if they'll hit this wall if you're hugging the wall. So I want to test it here first, and then I'll test it on the other side as well. Alright. Now we have this Zeke. He's being pulled all the way around. So basically they're going to be fighting both of these groups over here. So I don't have to worry much about this area. But I do have to worry about this, which will be explodifiers. Okay, and then there's no other pulls through the wall, it's just normal mob groups after that. So we want to put pressure on where they would be waiting, which would be possibly these 2 corners or this corner. I don't know if I'll be able to get pressure on both of those areas. I can try. I can put something down in here, and then see if I could put something over here, which I could. So let's do that. I'm just gonna move this up 1 like that, so it's definitely hitting this wall and this wall, and then we'll try to put something in here as well. Let's see. Yeah, I think this would be good. Well, where is this aggro range? Because what I can do here is basically I want them to pull 2 groups. Maybe not like right away, because if they attacked this mob and then they went straight into the Zeke, they wouldn't both arrive at the same time. You would be fighting this group and then the explodifiers, and that's not what I really want. But hopefully they'll delay at least a little bit and think about what they're doing. I don't know. Probably not, but I gotta reopen my castle inventory. Alright, so I can put something kind of over in here, be down 1. I might have to move the Snotter around just to see, can I move him? No, he's kind of in about the only position he can be in to make sure that he touches this wall, so well, I guess this is one of the better areas. I could put it up here. That way it covers more of the room. Let's see how the aggro circle looks like that. That's pretty close. Yeah, if they go down to this point, then they'll end up pulling this group. So I feel like that's okay. So basically it covers the area of this corner wall here that they might try to abuse up into the point where they would pull 2 groups, which is good. I think that's a pretty good spot. And then obviously just this room in general, because they might wait for these to come around and fight in this room, so that's good. Alright. Then we have the Zeke. Zekes, they will generally pull them back. He would like aggro this and then pull back and wait for the Zeke to walk around. That's the easiest way to engage them, because they miss more shots that way when there's a lot of corners. If he were to roll straight in here and like take out the bad dog, the Zeke would probably get a shot or 2 on him. So I need to actually go to the summoning portal now because I'm out of ballistic cannons. Alright. So let's see, then there would be the Pete Poundmore. Pete Poundmores you can really do either way. You can roll towards them. Now, this being a smaller corridor, if you roll towards him, he will most likely get at least 1 shot or 2. Like one full round of punches, so 2 then 3, so probably 2, and then he would start walking towards you for his 3-punch combo after that. So I don't mind if you roll towards him, because you'll probably take damage. I'd rather have something to discourage someone from using this corner over here against me. So we'll do that. And then if he does roll towards him, I might be able to get another ballistic cannon. It would be way back here. That's actually not that bad. Because if you think about it, right, if I'm going to engage this this group, basically I'm going to get to this point, right around this rug where this rug ends, is about where the aggro circle takes effect. Obviously it's a little bit farther forward. And then the Pete Poundmore is going to start running towards you to this area here by the time you round this wall. If you're going to roll past him and try to engage him from the backside so that you don't have to engage the bad dog, you're going to most likely have to. The Pete Poundmore is going to have moved up to around this point. You're going to roll past until around this area here, so that you'll be behind him, and then you're going to kite backwards through this ballistic cannon, right? And if you engage him moving forward, then you're going to have killed this group already. You're going to hit this aggro circle. To be honest, it seems like this should probably actually be back a couple hexes, because you're going to hit this aggro circle, which will still be inside of this range, and then you'll end up pulling back. The Pete Poundmore is going to come around, you're going to take a couple shots, drop caltrops, and maybe fight him back in this area here. So that seems like a pretty good spot. Now this area, right here, is being pulled through the wall, so I don't have to worry about that. What's going on over here? Alright. Like, normally, what you would think is if there's going to be no mobs in this group, you would put in some sort of a slow trap. But what you should always think about is the next room before you look at that. So what I do is I'm going to make this room perfect, because there's going to be mobs fighting around it. And then, if I have room over here to drop in a slow trap afterwards, that's what I'll do. You should always prioritize traps helping your creatures rather than just slowing someone down. Alright, and I need to go back to here. Okay. Now what we have here, something like this, right? I think so. Maybe one hex this way. Alright, that way it covers this corner, which I don't think anyone would use, this corner, and this corner. And then also a good majority of this room. I probably could move it over here. I just want to test to make sure that it actually hits you if you're standing over in this area here, or if it hits the wall. Alright, and then that will cover if someone just waits around. They'll have to wait in this corner, or they'll have to pull back over into here, which I don't really care too much about. We have to think about the fact that they might roll into this room next. So if you are rolling, if your plan is to roll into this room, you're going to go to this point, see this aggro, roll down in towards the back of this room to get behind the Mega Mutton, take a shot, and then roll this way in order to dodge his charge. If you aggroed both groups, then the Scorpio would be coming around and you'd get pulled over there. I don't really want to think about that outcome though. That's like 1 in a million. That won't happen often. But what I think I need is something that covers kind of the backside of this room here. I don't really like this placement. I'd rather have my Mega Mutton on this side and my trap kind of back over here more. Something like that might be a little bit better. That covers a good majority of what I was talking about, right? I think the trap might need to be forward a little bit though. Yeah, right there is good. So let's see if I can put in a glue minefield. It's kind of close, like no, I can't do it. Never mind. Alright, so I can't quite get one in. Again, I'm not really going to move traps that are supporting creatures to try to add in another glue minefield, especially with the way timers are. If timers were a little bit more tight like they were in last patch, I might think about, moving this over to make it a little less effective, but being able to have one extra trap inside. That there's going to be no creatures around, but it might slow you down, which means you'll probably not make it through my castle. But how it is now, I have like an 11 or 12 minute timer. That's insane. So I'm not going to worry about that. Okay, now this area here, basically this room is pretty much garbage. I might put one damage dealing trap here just in case they wait around for this. For the most part, I'm going to just use slow traps. So what I can do is actually think about that one chance in a million that I was talking about, where they pull both groups, they come up to this point, aggro this, notice that they aggro this, roll this way, shoot the Mega Mutton, he starts charging, they roll back this way, and then the Scorpio has been coming around and he pulls you into this room, and I can, you know, have an outcome for that where they get shot by ballista as well in this area. So something like this covers pretty much all the angles, right? If you have a Mega Mutton chasing you and you get pulled to this way, you're probably going to roll out this way for the most part, and you might start going into this room. I'm not going to worry at all about that, but you could also, you know, try to use these corners to dodge as well, depending on how far forward the Scorpio comes. Not really sure, but that's about as far as I'll go with that outcome. I actually think that, though, I think that possibly this would be one scenario where a rotating cannon trap would be better. Because a lot of the time there's not going to be anything here. For the vast majority of the time, people are going to, you know, fight in this room or fight in this room. They're not going to roll all the way through into here. So, as someone's just passing by, they'll never get hit by a ballistic cannon, but for all the other times that there's no creatures here, they might get hit with 1 or 2 ticks of fire. So I think, you know, for the extra couple 100 damage, that's not too bad. We'll put this here. Still covers most of this corner, covers this. Pretty good. Okay. So like I said, I was probably going to put a ballistic cannon here, just throw one in. It doesn't need to be crazy good. I move this. No, it's kind of in the only spot it can be in. Alright, well that's fine. Maybe I'll move it over a little bit this way. There. That way I can fit a few more slow traps in here. Do I want to do slow traps or jelly walls? See, the problem with slow traps now is if you walk straight through a slow trap, it'll never go off and actually hit you. You have to stop, or you have to go around a corner. Like around this corner, that would be a pretty good spot for a slow trap. Because if you turn directions on top of a slow trap, it'll hit you, but if you are just walking through, it won't. So, and then maybe a jelly wall could go right here. I like this one better, I think. That way you have to walk all the way up around here and then roll through, instead of just like roll through the corner. And then, I can't really get another jelly wall. I could probably get another glue minefield somewhere in this corner. Probably will never go off, but why not? It'd be funny if like one of them went over here or something and slowed you right when you started the game. That would be kind of hilarious, actually. I want to see if that actually could happen. I don't know if that's actually possible. Alright, that's about as far as the circle can get on top of the spawn point. I might be able to get one of those to spawn up there. That would be hilarious to me. I could probably put a fire minefield if that actually happened. If I put a fire minefield and they just randomly took, you know, 500 damage when they spawned in, I'm sure it would be considered an exploit, but I think it'd be hilarious. Alright, and then the boss room. I have it pretty much the way I want it. As of right now, when I'm still testing my IMAX here, which I still need to level up. How much is it to research the upgrade for an IMAX? IMAX 80,000. Alright, well I don't quite have it yet. I'm going to farm that after I finish up this video. But yeah, slow traps are good for this because you want them to be slow so they walk through that displacement field a little bit slower. Let's see if I can get this a little bit more aligned with everything else though. Something like that. Alright, we'll try that. Alright, so that's pretty much done. I'll run through my castle really quickly, see how it does against me. And then the only changes that I'm going to make are if I go up to level 30 and 32, I might switch out a couple things for more elites or something, like explodifiers for Mr. Boom Boom. Or if I just find like explodifiers aren't working the way I want them to. You know, I might do that as well. Alright, so I'm just, you know, kind of testing this trap as well. Looks like it's working the way I want it to. But again, it doesn't hit over here, which, I don't know. It's not bad because I do have to kite around to deal with these because there's just literally so many explodifiers here that you have to be constantly moving. You're going to take damage from the bomblets. Although I could use volley, which I should be. Yeah, I think this room's pretty good. I haven't had anyone around my level go through my castle yet. I've had a couple level 30s go through, and a couple of you guys who are super low level, like 20 or under. Obviously the 20 or under is just kind of run to the end of my castle just to see it. You know, they probably saw the first part of the video come out and they wanted to see what the rest of the castle looked like without waiting. It's fine. Alright, so this looks like it's working good. Hits all these corners. Okay. Now this would be one zone where I can just kind of stand and wait. I have here to here. So I have basically this little box that I can just basically fight in. Which is kind of almost the ideal zone to fight in. So I might want to think about... Well, if you get pulled in, then you actually take a ton of damage and I almost die. Which is pretty cool. I might see if I can put this ballistic cannon just like up on this side instead. Just a couple hexes up and then move this a couple hexes towards it as well. Although then you would be able to fight this a lot easier. I don't know, it's pretty good the way it is, to be honest. Because it supports both of these groups decently well. Because I don't think anybody's going to charge into a Cyclops that does 1,000 damage when it hits, and a Stairmaster, unless they don't know that the Stairmasters do a ton of damage at rank 4. I missed. Jimbo should have died to that headshot. Alright, cool. Oh, he's not dead. Okay. Alright. Not too bad. Yeah, like I said, this area here is definitely a dead zone that I don't really like. I don't think there's much I can do about it, though. Oh my god, I can't believe he didn't die. I think almost everybody's going to fight everything in this area here, and the only thing I could do would be to take out this mouse wheel trap. Which I might do if Jimbo is just not doing anything for me. That dampener is really annoying. Alright, cool. So yeah, just adding in traps adds a lot of damage. Now I do like where these two traps are to actually engage this this Zeke. I like this a lot because the only dead spot is basically the best area for Zeke to engage you in. For this Zeke over here, the perfect spot for him to fight someone would be in this zone right in here because he has a straight shot. And if you don't want to get hit by these traps, that's exactly where you have to go unless you pull all the way back to here. So I think that's pretty good. Does this trap cover this corner? No. I might see if I can do something about that. It does cover right at the tip of this corner, but I think that it doesn't cover here either. Yeah, this trap needs to be down a hex or two. If I can do that, I'll have to look to see. I should be like writing this stuff down because I'm not going to remember it after I get out of here. I think I wanted to test something here, and it looks like it's going to work fine. I think I wanted to test if it would hit here or hit the wall. And it looks like it hits fine. Yeah, okay. So I'm probably going to quit the castle right before my boss room because my boss room's still underleveled. I don't really need to test that until it's leveled all the way up, but I'll probably just wait for replays. And I also want to try to remember all the stuff that I need to change. Alright, this corner's covered, which is good. This corner doesn't matter. I think currently I just have too many explodifiers, and I think they just might not be good enough. I mean, I'll have to see how they are at level 32. Yeah, so here's that scenario where you fight this guy in the back of this room, and you have to constantly be dodging those ballistic traps or take a bit of extra damage. And now you can see how useless these things are if there's no mobs actually there. They just will never hit you if you're constantly moving. Alright, we'll pull both. Cool. Alright. And then this, most of the time you're never going to get hit by this, but if you do run through the fire you'll take 150 damage. Woohoo. It's hardly anything. Don't really like those traps. I used to love them, they used to be the only thing that I use. But they got nerfed a little bit. Alright, and then the boss room, I can do it really quick, it's fine. It's going to be relatively easy. I think my Stairmasters actually do more damage than my IMAX right now. Yeah, my Stairmasters do something like 250 per tick. This thing should be doing about 450. Which, for 14 supply, isn't really enough in my opinion. I could probably just add in, you know, 2 or 3 Stairmasters and it would be just as good. Alright, cool. So it's not too bad. I actually only got 2 stars and I am 2 levels over my castle, so not that bad. Now I have to try to remember everything I was going to change. First of all, I remember this. I wanted to have it go down a little bit, right? So it looks like it's covering this, but it's actually not. So just down, maybe over and down 1 hex. Not too bad. Yeah, we'll try that. There was something back a little bit farther. I was going to think about removing this, but I'm going to wait for some replays. And then I think I was talking about moving this, but I decided I wasn't going to, if I remember correctly. I don't remember if it was there something over here that I was going to change. I was going to try to move something. I was going to try to move this back, I think, right? Over to here. And then move this up a hex. Like that. I think that's what I was going to try. Hopefully that was what I was thinking about trying. I don't really remember. Maybe I'll rewatch this video and actually change what I was talking about. But alright, so that's it. That's the end of this 5-part series. Hope you guys enjoyed it. This is my castle for the time being. I might do a couple little changes here and there, and I'll also try to do a replay day whenever I get a couple replays from legit attackers. So thank you guys for watching. Subscribe if you enjoyed it, and I will see you next time.